Hey guys, my name is Nicolette Mashile. I am also known as the Financial Bunny. Welcome to the Financial Bunny TV. I'm so sorry. I know I have been MIA and I know I've been starting every video this year by saying that, but I sincerely apologize. It's been one of those years where I have not worked for the first couple of months of the year and then I had to play catch up. And honestly speaking, it's been very tough, but I'm here to tell you things are starting to look up once again. Now, before I get into this video, please do remember none of my videos constitute as financial advice. If you are, however, looking for financial advice, please do speak to somebody that is certified and registered with the FSCA. So we've done some really cool journals. We are calling them, or they are rather called the 100 Envelope Savings Challenge. Now, full transparency, these are sold on Temu. They're also sold on Shein. However, ours, you will notice, are customized. They are customized with a little badge, our logo, but also inside we've additionally added some informational leaflets to be able to help you. See, that's my welcome note. Then there's the actual challenge. So by the end of 100 days, you would have saved 50,500 that you can either use to get some financial goals that you're working on or to be able to actually start your investment journey. What's also great is that we've got them in different colors. So there's pink, there's blue, there's lavender, there's white, there's all sorts of different colors. Okay, let's get into today's video and what we're talking about. We are at the end of 2024, and I believe that there are some things that you and me need to leave behind when it comes to our personal finance management. The first one is not knowing what is your debt to income ratio. Now, there is a statistic in South Africa, I do not know how old it is, that says many South Africans are using 70% of their income to service debt. That is rather scary, because what that means is that you are using, of every 100 Rand that you're earning, 70 Rand goes to servicing debt and you're only living off 30 Rand. That's quite scary. Now, granted, of course, we know that a lot of South Africans are literally running their lives on debt, right? So maybe a car is on debt, or rather bought on credit, which means it's in a debt. The house it's got a debt attached to it. Some of their store cards, so the clothing has also got a debt attached to it. You may find that even some groceries, because they've got a credit card that they use for the groceries, has some debt attached to it, granted. But remember that the 30 Rand we're speaking about is for all of your living expenses, for all of your emergencies, if you don't have an emergency account, but most importantly for building wealth. And when we talk about building wealth, we're talking about you paying yourself first. That means you need to save from that 30 Rand. You need to invest from that 30 Rand. Now, why is this important? Because saving is going to be for future use or goals that you are trying to achieve. But most importantly, it's for risk mitigation. And that is if you have some sort of emergency come up that may force you to go divest the investments that you are also making. And what we do not want to do is to disturb the vesting process that is meant to take place when it comes to your investments. Because remember, the magical ingredient that comes with investing is specifically time. You've got to give your investments some time so that they actually mature, so that they appreciate, so they earn you enough interest for you to justify why you put your money in there. One example of figuring out is that example of saying you should only be using 30% of your income for your car. Many South Africans are spending 50, 60, 70% of their income to pay for a car. I'm talking car installment, I'm talking insurance, I'm talking maintenance, I'm talking license discs and fines, and I'm talking petrol. You can't be using more than 30% of your income to pay for a car. It actually just, it's not even a matter of we're judging anybody right now. It's just think about it. Just honestly think about it. It does not make sense. So let's say, for instance, you're taking home 30,000 Rand. It means that you should essentially only be using 9,000 Rand of your income to pay for a car. If you can go even less, that is fantastic. Well done, and shout out to you. Right. The next one, which is very important, is a money habit we all need to stop doing. Spending first and then saving and investing. So we're trying to pay ourselves first, or rather last, right? So what we're trying to do is we first spend and pay off everything we need to pay off, and then we want to see whatever is left, this is what we're going to be saving and investing. There's actually a law, I think it's called the Benjamin Law. I can't remember what the law is, but basically it's a law about time. It says that if you're given a week to do a task, you're probably going to take a week. Even if the task doesn't need you to take a week, you're going to spend the full amount of a week to be able to do that task. But if the same task is given to you over an hour or a day, you will find a way to allocate, concentrate, focus on that task, and you will also finish it in a day. So sometimes pressure does really create diamonds, right? It's not always the case. Some of us just do procrastinate, but in many times, the amount of time that you're allocated sits at the back of your mind, and that's what you use to gauge how much concentration and effort you need to put in so that you can complete this thing. Now, it's similar to our money. If you decide that you're going to spend, and then leave 10 Rand, that means you only have 10 Rand to save. So it's rather important that you start off and do it the other way around, and that's how people who build wealth do it. They first and foremost save and invest, and then whatever is left, that's what they use then to pay off their living expenses, to pay off their debt obligations, and to pay off their risk mitigation and policies. So it's important that you reshape your life so that it accommodates savings. Now, with that being said, the habit number 3 that we need to also let go of is this thing of first week, when the salary comes in, you are so excited, you put 5,000 Rand away into a savings account. Week number 3, you start slowly but surely fetching 1,000 Rand. And you start convincing yourself that it's week number 3. In the next week, you're probably going to get paid. It's close to payday. You're going to put the money back anyway. What is the problem? Well, the problem is that actually you are not saving. What you are doing is you are doing the planning, but you are not executing. Why do I say that? It's very similar to people who sit down and allocate time in their lives to write down a thorough budget, a beautifully put budget. Some of them even use spreadsheets. They use color-coded, pens on their spreadsheet. It's got green for when money comes in, red for when money goes out, yellow for, maybes. And then that is done. The feeling of accomplishing, putting the budget together feels like you've actually budgeted, but you have not actually done the actual budgeting. There's a budget, which is a noun for the actual document plan that you're putting together. Then there's budgeting, which is the actual doing. And then at the end of the month, you are supposed to go back with your bank statement and check your actuals. Did I actually spend 3,000 on groceries like I had planned to? Did I actually only spend 2,000 Rand on black tax like I had intended to? That's the budgeting. That's the actual doing. So it's important to know that you actually have to do the work. That also means that when you are putting money away at the beginning of the month, when the salary comes in, you must save. And the saving, because it's a doing word, needs to stay saved for it to actually be doing it. The problem is too many of us are transacting versus actual saving. So all we're doing is moving money around, and it makes us feel good because at the beginning of the month, we've told ourselves, no, but I have saved. But essentially, week number 3, I call that the dark week. Everybody, or most of us, start fetching that money little by little. Now, the smart thing to do is to budget and have a realistic amount that you can actually put away as part of your paying yourself first. The second thing is to separate it totally from your transactional account. The 4th habit that many of us need to let go of is bank products for investing purposes. Guys, bank products for investing purposes, I cringe every time I do financial coaching and I see people sitting with 500K, 1 million Rand in 32-day accounts, even 100,000. And I'm like, the first thing I ask is this your emergency account? And they're like, no, I'm just saving for in case. And I'm like, okay, but why are you saving it in a bank account? You need to be able to separate your monies. You need to have an emergency account, which is an account that is easily accessible. When I say easily accessible, I don't mean just transact easy. It must at least give you 24 hours waiting time so you can breathe and reaffirm that whatever it is that you're going to be paying for is an actual emergency. Then your money needs to be investment money. And remember, investments are not made equal. So not all investments are going to take your money and it's going to be stuck and you can't get it out. There's some investments like money market accounts that can give you your money maybe within 48 hours. There are some investments where you can easily sell your shares. I know in easy equities, I think it takes less than 36 hours to be able to sell off your shares and get them back. And yes, it's not ideal to do it like that. But at the end of the day, if you are in a hard place, it's better to have had those investments actually having some exposure to some sort of investments. But if you speak to an investment planner, they will be able to help you in picking the right type of investments with different time periods so that you don't ever find yourself stuck with that. And then also you can then have an emergency account so that if there is immediate emergencies, you're able to solve that. And habit number 5 that we need to be leaving in 2024, and this one is specifically for my self-employed babies, self-employed or running small businesses. This thing of not allowing your business or finding and seeking investments for your business is absolutely dangerous. So in your own personal capacity as an individual, you need to save and invest. So your business must also have an emergency fund. Your business must also build an investment portfolio. Why? We saw in 2020 when the whole world shut down, we were shut down in South Africa. Many of our businesses could not operate and some of us were not making money because of that. You need to have investments that are going to be able to still be able to have some sort of backup or mature or appreciate in the background. So one thing that we do at Financial Fitness Bunnies, we buy property with business proceeds, we buy land with business proceeds, we're currently building, and then we also found out Satrix Now. It's a platform where you can register as a business and you can actually buy shares as a business. But of course it's Satrix, so we're buying ETFs and we're buying unit trusts. So it's something that you can consider. I'm not here saying that's probably the best platform. I'm simply saying what we are doing as a business, but also investing in other businesses, right? So pivoting from your mainstream business into something else. So for instance, at Financial Fitness Bunnies, our job is consumer financial education. But in the lines of the work that we're doing, we're finding ourselves having to buy our own camera equipment. We have bought our own podcasting equipment. So now we are renting that out to other people. Why? Because it allows us to be able to run the business. The business also has different types of lines in each and how the business makes money. So we've got books, we've got the journals, we've got stationery, we now have we've got piggy banks for kids. We are busy with an animated series. So there's quite a number of verticals that the business now has simply from this one idea that it came out of. So it's very important to make sure that your business itself also has a backup plan for in case things go a little bit awry or they don't go in the direction that you are looking for. Right. Habit number 6 that you need to let go of is this: ignorance is bliss when it comes to your retirement. Please do yourself a favor today. Go onto the retirement calculator. You literally can type in Google retirement calculator and add in your information so that you can figure out how much money you are going to be earning in retirement years. And remember, the money that you're currently contributing towards retirement right now is tax-free. In other words, you are actually deducting money from your gross that goes into your retirement, and then only after does your money get taxed, right? So which means that it is important for you to ensure that when you get to retirement, you factor tax in, because you are gonna get taxed by the tax man, SARS. Right. So that is very important that you do that calculation so that you can find out if you have enough money or not. There's another thing that keeps popping up and I keep seeing it is how people are like, life insurance is the best gift that you can ever give to your children. And you know what? I'm not going to fight it. I think to a certain extent, they could be right. Life insurance is also a policy that I think many of us should actually have, especially if we have children, especially if we're planning to have children, especially if you are planning to buy a home or if you've bought a home. So for me, those are two very big pluses for having life insurance. And the earlier you get your life insurance, the better, right? Because then you won't have too many loadings on your life insurance. Because as we get older, especially in this day and age, there's lifestyle diseases, there's habits that you can't let go of, like smoking and drinking. Maybe even the job that you're working at is very dangerous. Maybe you are, washing windows and you're climbing on top of those things and there's danger in your business, or maybe you work in a lab where you are exposed to fumes, chemical fumes, so developing certain diseases may be a possibility. So your loadings as you are younger are far less than what they will be as you get older, right? But also it becomes a lot cheaper when you get it as you're younger, because remember what life insurance is you are saying to the life insurer or assurer that, hey, I am going to die. And the assurer is like, yeah, but we can give you the assurance that it's not going to be tomorrow or today. So they're saying to you, there's still a bit of time. But the only way they can say that is if there really is a little bit of time. You know what I mean? Of course, they're not God, so they don't know when that time is going to be. But that's essentially what life insurance is. It's insuring the body. Same way we're quick to insure a car, same way we're quick to insure household goods, same way we're quick to insure our cell phone. Please insure the thing that is going to use the car. Insure the body that is going to use the cell phone. Make sure that you're getting life insurance. But also, don't get these funky life insurance policies that don't speak to your needs, right? It's important to make sure that the life insurance policy you are getting is a comprehensive one that has some sort of a retrenchment benefit, income protection benefit, disability benefit, near death or dread disease benefit. So yes, it might not exist all in one, it might exist, but ask your financial advisor if you can at least get a life insurance that has an accelerated funeral cover. So within 48 hours or 24 hours of you passing, the funeral cover is going to pay out, or the funeral portion pays out, but then your children still have a life insurance policy that is still there that can assist them in really transitioning a life without their breadwinner or their parent or whatever, right? The other thing is, of course, the house issue, right? If you do have life insurance and you do have a bond, you can cede the portion that you owe to the bank to the extra life insurance, or rather the other way around. You can cede a portion of your life insurance to the bond, the person that you owe the bond to, right? So the financier. So let's say, for instance, you've got a bond with FNB. You guys are bonded together. You owe them 900,000 on your house, and you then cede 900,000 of your life insurance to FNB, that if something is to happen to you and you die, or you become temporary, or permanently disabled, and you are unable, so what today, even now, unable to pay for your house because you've passed away, then the life insurance will pay out, and that 900,000 will then settle the house, and your children can have that asset to themselves without having to lose it, or the bank trying to sell it to recover some of those monies. So life insurance is another thing that I really do think that you should really be thinking about, right? The last one that I want to speak to is speaking to your partner, your friends about money, and allowing yourself to be put into unnecessary positions and unnecessary situations where you are spending more than you should be spending, going to places where you're gonna spend more than you should be spending, and really not being able to have that conversation, but also allowing your traumas, your financial status to project and to turn you into a bad person because you're not discussing those things. So now you're speaking behind those people's backs, or you are leaving a great partner because you're not having the conversation with them, or the partner irritates you because they can't pay for your holiday because you're so used to, another partner who was paying for your holidays, buying you flowers, doing all sorts of cute little things for you, and this new partner is unable to do that. So you're losing out on a really amazing relationship because you're literally not having the money conversation where you could have the money conversation. Some people you don't know. Some of them you might not like their job titles, but they're racking money in. Some people have trust funds. Some people are great savers or great investors. So while their salary might not be as huge as yours, they're actually saving and investing far more money every month because they've got less debt than you. So it's important to have those conversations. But at the same time, don't let friendships fade away because you and your friends are not in the same financial status when it comes to life or a financial level. So now you are backing out of all of your social events because you can't go, because whenever you want to go out, your friends are choosing the more expensive and higher end restaurants, or they want to go on holidays or whatever, they want to do those things together. Don't allow yourself that, right? We all have dynamic friendships, and friendships require that all of us make some sort of or rather require some sort of flexibility. They also require sometimes that you be the friend that pays, or the other week it's the other person, or what, actually friends, why don't you guys come over to my house and I'll cook you a meal. So it's important that we don't find ourselves in a situation where we are determining our intimate and our friendship relationships based on money. I want to leave it there because I think it's important that I don't overwhelm with this video, but that the points that I've made really do land. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah, mwah.